Hi, it's good to see you and thank you for joining us for yet another interesting episode of Area Code. Now, this week we are focusing on an estate that borrowed its name from one of the famous states in the United States of America. Area Code California Estate begins now. The thing about borrowed names is that usually the two have to outdo each other. Not in this case though. You see, California, the one in Nairobi, is a far cry from that one that plays host to the who is who in the Hollywood global scene. A classic case of a shared name not having a shared destiny. The legacy that is continuously being written of this small estate in Nairobi was birthed on the 28th of November in 1967 by the then President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. The idea for the estate was, however, developed and conceptualized by the late Thomas Joseph Odhiambo Mboya, who was the first member of parliament for the area, which was then known as Nairobi Central Constituency, now called Kamukunji Constituency. Mboya's plan was to have a housing development project that would see area residents, mostly government officers, upgrade from the predominant mud houses to more permanent stone structures. Thus, the Pumwani Redevelopment Housing Project was born.
Hakuna hata mtu mmoja ambaye alijenga huo mtaa ambaye yuko hai leo.
Tucked away in his office, stocked almost to the roof with various scholarly books, is 75-year-old Suleiman Munyu, who was there before, during and after construction of California Estate.
Kule tulikuwa tumezoea vile mkoloni ambavyo alikuwa ametuweka katika hali ya kidhaifu sana. Kitu cha ajabu, sijui mkoloni alikuwa anataka nini na sisi, kwa sababu choo kilikuwa tunajengwa ni public toilet, lakini ilikuwa zile vyumba vimegawanywa ndani havina milango. Choo chote hakina mlango. Kina mlango mmoja tu wa nje na pia haufungwi. Kwa hivyo watu walikuwa wanaingia, kila mtu akienda katika hizo room za choo, unapita, unamuona mwenzako akifanya vile anavyofanya huko.
But if you ask the older generation of residents here, all that changed between the year 1967 and 1969 when construction for the houses was completed through the help of the Israeli government.
California ilikuwa maridadi sana. Tomboya alituletea Israeli hapa kujenga hizi nyumba. Hakuna contract wengine waweza kujenga nyumba kama hizi. Hizi ukiingia ndani California, nyumba utazidirika, pipe za zamani ni zile za chuma, sio za plastiki.
Kutoka barabara ya Digo Road mpaka Lamu Road mpaka Munyema, hii ilikuwa ndio phase 1. Sasa ilikuwa vile alikuwa amepanga ni kwamba watu wa phase 1 watakuja huu mtaa wa California, kisha ijengwe phase 2 katika zile sehemu za wale wenye nyumba waliohamishwa pale wakaja California. Ilikuwa zitajengwa kwa phases, kisha mwisho ingalikuwa kuna shopping centers, stadiums, sijui na nini, sehemu za michezo. Ndio ilivyokuwa imepangwa.
But with the death of Tom Mboya in 1969, the upgrade stalled and only one phase of the redevelopment project was ever completed.
Tuliletwa hapa kila mtu alikuwa akichagua ile nyumba anayotaka. Sasa mimi nikachagua hii. Sasa plot yenyewe inaanzia hapa.
Suleiman is one of the about 120 families that benefited from the project. He was able to secure a house during allocation.
Wakati tulipohamia hapa nyumba hazikuwa ghali kulinganisha na wakati huu tulioko. Sasa tulipohamia huku tulikuwa inalipwa mpangaji kwa room 3, 2 bedrooms na sitting room na jiko na toilet na bath. Walikuwa nalipa 450 kwa room 3. Watu wengine wakasema hizi sisi hatuziwezi hizi. Ndio watu wengi ukakuta vijiji vidogo karibu hapa ni za wale watu ambao ilikuwa mshahara wao kidogo ni wa chini.
450 shillings for a 3-bedroomed house doesn't seem realistic, but in the 1960s, only government officials could afford such housing. It is perhaps for that reason that up to date, most of the homeowners here are county officials.
Basically in Calif, we have 4 different types of houses. There is type A, which is, I don't know if you get a shot. This is type A. Even you can see it's written A2. So type A, there are 2 blocks, each comprising 25 flats. And then there's type B. Type A, the landlord is the county government. Type B and type C, the landlords are individuals.
So type B is like
type
which one?
B,
and C is like which one?
Okay, C is this one. Okay. This is type C.
This is type C.
Yes. And then type B, okay, we'll get a shot when we go that side.
Maybe perhaps that one?
Where we came from. Here, there's type B around this place. And then there's type D. So basically type A and D belong to the county government.
A and D belong to the
county government, yes. B and C, they belong to landlords, individuals.
Or individual owners.
Yes.
All right.
So type A and D, the occupants were mostly city council workers, teachers, and staff from Pumwani Maternity Hospital. But with passage of time, the occupants right now are 3rd generation. Yeah. Because the parents retired, they went home, the kids grew, some of them got married. So 90% of the occupants of type D and type A are 3rd generation.
California Estate exclusively has either 2-storied, 3-storied or 4-storied apartments. It is one of the few Nairobi estates that was constructed back when government was the sole developer and initiator of housing settlements.
It was almost grabbed by a clique of tycoons.
Abdallah Mohammed has lived here all his life, and if you ask him,
if I was to live my life again, I'd rather it be in California.
It's a good place.
It's a good place. It's a wonderful place.
Good and wonderful perhaps aptly describes why Abdallah and very many residents here would make a similar remark. Hiding behind the silence of these streets is a loud political history that has attached itself with the estate. It is said that current Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at one point resided here. During the guerrilla warfare to overthrow Idi Amin's regime in the late 1970s, Museveni made several trips to Kenya, including occasionally visiting California Estate, where his uncle resided. And Museveni is not the only African president with links to this area code. Imagine growing up next to the future president. Well, that imagination was indeed reality for a section of residents of California Estate. Not known to many, but this particular housing block behind me played host to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, where he used to come and visit his 2 sisters who lived on the 4th floor of this apartment complex. It is here in 1989 where Paul Kagame is believed to have met his wife Jeanette Nyiramongi, a Tutsi exile living in Nairobi. Kagame, who also at the time was on exile in Uganda, had asked his relatives to suggest a suitable marriage partner, and his two sisters in Nairobi suggested their friend Jeanette.
Kagame mwenyewe president wa Rwanda ameishi hapa California. Tukikuja kwa Museveni mjomba wake ameishi hapa California. So unaona ni mtaa ambayo si mtaa, yani ni mtaa ina story mingi sana na ni mtaa mzuri mpaka leo. Unaona Moi mwenyewe mke wake ametoka hapa. Umeona, so ni mtaa mzuri.